Let's go. Okay, so I'm Bobbie. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Meetup here, but I'm also a product manager at a company called Stytch. I work on fraud and security. And fraud and security is a really interesting place to be, I think, right now because of generative AI. And so here's a login screen. It's a login screen like any other. A quick show of hands, how many of you are building in AI? You're working on a startup, you're working on an AI company. Awesome. Wow, it's almost everyone in the room, which is great. And you probably have a login screen just like this in your site. Well, at Stytch, what we're seeing is that in the last year and last 2 years, really, the rate of bot attacks has been accelerating. We're seeing more bot attacks and they're happening more often. Why is this happening? Let's go to our best friend, ChatGPT. So I was curious, like, how hard is it really to do this? This is a one-line prompt which generates a Puppeteer script that tries to log into that site that I was just showing you. And ChatGPT is pretty funny. The alignment team is doing great work because they say, hey, it would be unethical and possibly illegal for me to help you to do this. Anyways, here's the entire script. So this is the script. This script actually works. So I'm going to take this. I've got cursor, exact same script we just saw. And when I run this script, it's going to open up a new browser. It's going to go and try to type in my name, and now we'll get unauthorized action. That's because we're using Stytch for bot detection here. What that looks like in our dashboard is this. So every browser has certain characteristics. There's things like user agent, which everyone knows about, and it's super easy to fake user agent. There's a bunch of other factors which we use to detect headless browser automation, and that allows us to say, this is an automated script, we don't want it, let's block it. And so we get these flags, headless browser automation and user agent deception. Well, you might say, well, that's a super basic security demo. Anyone can write a script that their own product can block, hopefully. But then, we push it a little farther. So here I'm using Kilocode, which is another agentic coding agent, also doing great things. I give them another script. This is another 2-line prompt. It was detected as a bot. Let's update it to avoid detection. And here I'm replaying this because it would take a little bit to run, but I'm zoomed in too far. Here we see we're going to update the script with several modifications to make it more human-like. And what that means is we'll spoof some browser properties, we'll set a common user agent, we'll fake the plugins, we'll fake human-like interaction, and we can do all of these things. So I'm going to restore to this checkpoint, go back to the terminal, and here we see there's a lot of things going on here. If you're new to the world of browsers and bots, it might be surprising how many different attributes there are that you can manipulate. Here, we're going to run it again. Now we have things like human-like typing speed that are traditional bot detection attributes. But even so, we're able to detect it. And once again, that comes back to being able to know, what does good traffic look like? What does bad traffic look like? So this is just a time where we can see, not only do we know it's headless browser automation, but we can also detect that there's JavaScript property deception. That's what it means when you're manipulating things like the WebDriver field, which is traditionally used to say, I'm a bot, and other features of browsers that we think are malicious. And so, how are we doing on time? Still got 80 seconds here. And so what are the takeaways here? First, it's really easy. So that's super awesome if you are building an app and you do want to do legitimate testing. On the other side, it's become easier and easier to do attacks. And so I often say, when you democratize coding, you also democratize abuse. And so if you are running an AI app, you're probably giving access to perhaps free credits or AI APIs. So Kilocode, for example, gives away free Claude credits when you create an account. We're helping them protect from fake account creation because people are mass creating these accounts to try and resell those credits. And we see the same across a variety of both AI companies like Replit, Assembly AI, Together AI, Descript, as well as traditional companies like Calendly, Pixels, Bitcoin.com. So all over the place. This is what we're working on at Stytch, and very fun for me to play around with Gen AI. If you haven't seen it before, try and play around with it as well. And that's 5 minutes. So thanks, folks.